Ladies and gentlemen, it keeps getting better. All right, so what I'm talking about today is the story that is ongoing and outgrowing every single day. Dokibird versus Nijisanji. Sorry, that was my Fallside impression. Fallside is covering a story about how a lawyer, an actual lawyer, spent hours and hours on stream freaking going through every single bit of evidence and details on this case. So finally, we could look at this from the perspective of an actual legal mind instead of me, a shit poster online with a hardcore morals and ethics. My morals and ethics are grounded and cannot be surmounted. I'm not like Vosh. I've never defended child porn. No, I am just a guy shitposting on the internet that's not claiming to be right about anything I'm saying. However, I am going to look and cackle screaming vindication every chance I get because I just happen to be so right about this for years that everyone's been calling me out. All right, let's get the legal breakdown of the whole Nijisanji shit. I think this is important to look at also, so let's see how my boy Fallside breaks this down. Let's see what.
Who would win? That is the question being asked today about Dokibird, formerly Selen Natsuki of
Dude, wait, hold up. Let me actually get. Can I leak shit to the lawyer guy so that he can have a more nuanced take? I don't think he actually has the Nijisanji contract. So look, we'll see. We'll see how deep he goes. All right, let's go.
Sanji English, now terminated from that organization nearly 2 weeks ago.
Rip!
As now on the case is Legal Mindset, a Florida man lawyer.
Florida man! Let's go. Florida men, they are the ultimate ace in the hole. You never know. Every Florida man is a dark horse candidate, not Vosh fans, stay away. We're not talking about that kind of horses. We're talking about metaphorical horses. You never freaking know. They are either going to be freaking moist critical or they are going to bite off a woman's nose. Or both. You never know. I love Florida.
Looking at this particular case, piece by piece, and drawing numerous conclusions.
Let's go, baby! The legal breakdown! We are so here. We are so here for this. My God.
Gator, aka the Gator Gamer, for VTuber expertise. Legal Mindset here giving his opinion on the contract termination being tweeted.
Oh, fuck. I hope he knows how actually abusive the Niji contract is. Questioning whether I should reach out. Questioning and curious.
Out.
Is inviting a legal nightmare as corporate counsel. Like, you know, people know me from doing representing special districts as well. You know, I did that when I was younger, as a younger attorney in Florida, representing Reedy Creek, which is why I cover the Disney issues. But later on, I was corporate counsel for a very large corporation. We would never post a notice of contract termination publicly. This is insane, right?
I think, first of all, he's 100% right. You don't do that shit. However, I think it's important to mention and note the fact that this is the major little funny detail. This is all a PR move. The reason why they actually did this, okay, I have a very dark theory and I have a very likely theory. My very likely theory is that they are trying to save any amount of PR they can. They know in the contract when they terminate someone from Nijisanji, the person that got terminated is literally not allowed to fight back. That is in the actual contract. They cannot even acknowledge that they were ever part of Nijisanji, so they won't fight back, and therefore they are fighting a battle where they are the only voice to be heard. That's the most likely scenario. The darkest scenario, because I like looking at things in levels of extremes as well a little bit here and there, I think that they know that Selen tried to take her own life, and they wanted to make her mental health as bad as fucking possible. And maybe they can get away with everything if she succeeds at doing literally an unthinkable thing. I think that did go through their head, just by the fact that they knew that it happened to her twice. They fire her publicly without telling her first. The first time she sees she got fired was over Twitter. The fact that they released the response from Nijisanji the moment she starts her stream. The moment she starts her stream with former friends literally blasting them. Former friends blasting Dokibird publicly while her stream is going on. I really think they wanted the unthinkable to happen, at least in the corner of their mind. So looking at it from this perspective, I think it does make sense why they leaked all this shit publicly. Again, I'm not saying it's a good legal move for them to publicly post the termination, but I think that it's not all about the legal game. It's about the PR game. If they would have silently fired Selen and not said anything, people would have thought they were in the wrong. So they wanted to fire Selen, come out talking about how Selen is a bad person, and then Selen can't breach the contract by talking back. That's just a theory, a game theory.
This goes to her lawyer. This goes to her, right? That's about it.
So they get different contracts. Okay, again, listen, I'm not allowed to know this shit, and I don't. This is all speculation, all right? I'm gonna pull a 39 daff here and just speculate. They don't get the same contract for termination that the public gets. They get an actual different one. And the different one includes signing some things, or else they'll make your life even worse. They give you a timeline on when you're allowed to sign shit, and then if you don't sign that shit, they make your life harder. This is not what the talent gets when they get fired.
Well, here's the kicker. It didn't even go to her. She did not find out.
He doesn't know that! Oh my god, oh my god.
That she was terminated until a friend of hers messaged her and said, hey, you know, what's going on? You know, I just got this thing about you getting terminated. And it just, I mean, imagine like finding out that you got fired from somebody messaging you.
And now further on the subject
Frick,
of
dude.
Selen Natsuki's contract and where that jurisdiction lies.
What they're saying here is, okay, we terminated Selen, and I am going to summarize, due to breaches of essentially their rules, right, of their policies. And that would amount to breach of contract. Now, that is something I'm generally familiar, because breach of contract is fairly international.
Yep,
right?
straightforward. You have a contract, just follow the contract. Basic shit.
The rules regarding a lot of other different types of law, criminal law.
Do you know that you have rights? Well, the Constitution says you do, and so do I. That is me, Nux Goodman, attorney at nothing, here to help.
Even certain types of civil law are different, but breach of contract is actually one of the things that's pretty international. Yeah. And just so you guys know, because one of the big issues is venue. With breach of contract, typically you look at where the defendant's headquarters is, where their
Canada
place of business is, and also if it's stipulated in the contract or stipulated anywhere else or wherever the work is primarily taking place, which clearly would be Japan. So
yeah, so it does say, I believe, I could be wrong, but my total random guess is that it says in Japan that you are going to be treated by Japanese law.
For the breach of contract claim, the venue would definitely be Japan. But that does not Selen/Dokibird from bringing other claims in Canada that are not available in Japan.
Next, we have...
Interesting. That's a very interesting thought. Ooh, good insight. Another thing that I think is worth mentioning here, and this is something that other Niji talent have gotten into an issue with as well. Probably. I have no idea if this is true. I'm just making this up totally. I have no evidence for anything that I'm saying. At least none that I would prove. None that I would submit until I am questioned thoroughly. So take everything with a grain of salt. But Nijisanji's contract is very vague. Like, it'll say, if you ever engage in an act of referencing a third party that we don't approve beforehand, if you ever do that, you're violating the copyright clause. They're so vague that, like, you could just mention Pokemon, and that then later, when they ever want to fire you, they can pull up that clip of you mentioning Pokemon, a third-party IP, without actual approval, and say that you violated copyright here, so therefore, kaboomba, we're gonna destroy you. I think that this is a very important thing to keep in mind. The contracts are so vague that anytime they want to fire you, they will be able to go back over the last 2 years and come up with a freaking laundry list of crimes, and they can be vague about it. They literally claimed that Sayu broke copyright by saying D's Nuts, even though D's Nuts is a third-party brand that didn't get special approval, which is insane. And of course, they didn't say that when they fired her. They just said violated copyright and brought risk to the company. Everything's a third-party IP if you look hard enough. Like, that's what I mean by how vague it is. That you'll always break something.
The topic of potential defamation.
But even here, guys, what they've said is already pretty defamatory if it's not true. And there's some of this that even with what the facts that I've seen so far appears may not be true, right? So, and once again, guys, I know a lot of what's out there is like speculation, right, Gator?
Right.
Certainly there's a ton of speculation out there. But it seems like if we talk about this line here, which I would be concerned with, infringement on third-party property rights.
Oh, there it is. I should have waited. I should have let him cook.
My understanding, Gator, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that she, in reality, did not violate anybody's copyright.
Unfortunately, I don't think you are fully aware of the evil of Nijisanji.
Or IP laws, that she had permissions for everything that she did.
See, I think that here's some really Nux brain rot take. Are you ready? This statement over here of her violating copyright was meant so that the public thinks that they're talking about the Last Cup of Coffee song, and that is the one that violated copyright. But in actuality, I don't believe that's the case. The incredibly big brain 5-head take is that they wrote this vaguely enough so that people can interpret it as being the Last Cup of Coffee song, because that was a whole drama that happened over Christmas. But in actuality, they are referring to some random bullshit that she did in 2021 where she said D's nuts, and the D's nuts brand didn't give official approval for her using the word D's nuts or something stupid like that. They use copyright as a shield. They literally use copyright as a shield that they can always claim that they violated copyright and brought risk to the company because everything's a third-party IP. So while I don't think this is actually defamation, I think that they can always twist these words to just be referring to some other time where she said an IP shit. And again, this is just the predatory aspect of the Niji copyright, of the Niji contract, that they could twist their words like this and not expect criticism because they silence you. They fire you with the vaguest terms possible. You know, they'll say risk of life in the fucking thing, and you'll be like, risk of life? That sounds pretty horrible. But risk of life was actually jaywalking, okay?
Right. She even reached out to the original author of the song that she used, Lily Pichu, and got her explicit permission, and was actually working behind the scenes trying to get management to just kind of give the okay and reach out to these people. They didn't do it, so on her own behalf, she went and talked to these people and got the permission to use all of the assets, to use all of the art, to use the song.
Further now, we have a debunking of
again, I think that the reason why that was written vaguely on purpose was that it could be referring to something else. I don't think that it could be slander. Because I'm sure she violated some sort of IP according to the Sauron's eye that is Nijisanji's management.
the doxing claim.
Factually, so the information they're talking is information that was exchanged between lawyers and to the company. There was no threat of doxing there.
True.
There was no threat of public exposure.
Based.
Right? There was no, as far as we know.
Dude, 39 Daff is going to look at this and be like, they don't make lawyers like they used to. I can't believe he's not looking at the full picture.
Right? I have not seen any proof of that at all whatsoever. Right? At all. If anything, I think probably Selen has more reason to be worried about doxing.
Oh, yeah.
Than the Nijisanji livers.
100%.
These three Nijisanji livers. Because they clearly don't give a shit about personal information. They're just passing it around and not.
Because they don't care that she tried to kill herself. Why do you think they would care about doxing her at this point? If they don't care that someone's gonna try to kill themselves twice, well then no, they won't care if that she gets doxed.
Not really caring who they give it to.
And now the question is, has Nijisanji self-reported?
If she has emails, texts for years, prove they lie. Yeah, and we'll see that come out if there's a case, obviously. There's reasons why you don't just drop all the evidence in public. Nijisanji's actually fucking up by self-reporting, by self-snitching, right? Ooh. They should not be doing this. The fact they're doing this is just like mind-boggling.
Unless, like I said earlier, they're not really treating this as a legal case as much as they're treating it as a PR case. They're trying their best to save their PR, and that's ultimately worth so much more to them than the lawsuit. And they're failing, obviously, miserably, but I think that since that's their priority, it does, in that context, make sense that they would be leaking this stuff.
Gives her lawyer a chance to look over that and maybe possibly come up with a defense for it.
Exactly. Selen's lawyer can just build the case, right? Or lawyers, because I think she should have a Canadian lawyer and a Japanese lawyer. Selen, Dokibird, if you're listening, lawyer up in Japan and in Canada.
Yeah, and further on, does Nijisanji have bad lawyers?
Jeff Baltazar says, the thing that bothers me the most about this is the whole message doesn't feel like it was lawyer approved. It feels unrehearsed and unvetted. That black message was definitely lawyer reviewed.
100%.
I just think that their lawyers are not that great. They're like
also, their lawyers probably aren't that great at English. I know that sounds cringe because it's a $3 billion company. Why the hell wouldn't they have a good English-speaking lawyer? Well, the answer is their managers, for those of you that are unaware and want an absolute bombshell dropped on your ass, their managers for the English talent are Japanese high school students that are paid part-time job minimum wages that have passable conversational English. None of that was a joke. That is all true. That's their actual management for the English brain. I would not be surprised if their lawyers didn't exactly understand the nitty-gritty here.
The Disney lawyers, right? And I know this is something that the Nijisanji defenders say. They say, oh, well, Nijisanji is a company with lawyers, so therefore they're perfect. Wrong.
It's such a fucking stupid thing to say. It's such a bad take. Oh my god. And I've seen people saying that too. I have people in my comments being like, well, in defense of Nijisanji, they're a company and they have lawyers.
I was a corporate lawyer. I can tell you right now, corporate lawyers are not Laffy Taffy. They 100% can fuck up, and sometimes they don't know what they're
I was a corporate lawyer. Remember that time that fucking Amazon lost a massive $14 trillion lawsuit? It was me, Barry! It was me!
talking about at all. They've sat on their laurels having to do nothing. This is the biggest thing the Nijisanji lawyers have handled ever. They probably have no scope of reference for this. This is their...
The Amber Heard lawyers right now, wiping their brows, sweating their ass. Objection, hearsay!
They're Titanic. They have no...
Their yacht is sinking! Say the thing.
Precedent for it. Don't pretend they know what they're doing. They're all panicking just like everybody else.
They lost 20% of their company's value. They're panicking a lot.
Next up, can Dokibird settle?
Right. Donald Gill says it would settle the day they do not want to discover. Yeah, and they would try to. And by the way, I'm sure Doki would want to settle. I'm sure Doki would want to settle and get this done with.
Doki wanted to settle, past tense. I think that it's important to realize that most streamers that leave Nijisanji that end up getting fired, they're people that try to settle with Nijisanji and leave on good terms, but Niji wants to humiliate them so that the company looks better in the eyes of the people and the talent gets vilified. That's literally the status quo.
Right? If it survived a motion to dismiss, I think they would just pay out. It'd be better for the corporation. It'd be smarter. If I was their corporate attorney, I'd tell them just to pay her.
My guess is what would happen is they would try to settle and have both sides issue some sort of public statement like the matter is handled. Please, leave people alone. They
with an
probably
NDA.
do something like that.
With
With
an
an
NDA.
NDA,
Yeah.
so they can't talk about it.
However,
It's probably what they want to do.
there are concerns for Dokibird.
So, regarding a recording, this was not intended to be anything other than a distribution test for a planning of a collaborative event between two people, which happened to be left over from one test recording. I never recorded any other conversations with anyone. So it wasn't even, she didn't even record it in bad faith. But regardless, it doesn't matter. It's one party.
One party consent laws. That's what I've been saying, homie. She's in Canada. One party consent. It's Jover, not a claim against her.
Party consent. So off.
Right. She has the right to do it. So.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. The
I've
end.
asked my lawyer to convey that and communication that the document as it was written wasn't going to be released anywhere. And my lawyer did so when sending the document. Okay, I've got concerns here, guys.
Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is me being really fucking honest. I have some concerns about her lawyer, okay? Here's my concern. Reading this as a lawyer, right? He could have offered to make a summary. He could have offered to make points. He could have offered to have a version that he could have done that removed a lot of private information that would hurt Doki. He could have protected her better there, I think, as a lawyer, right? And not
Okay, I
knowing
hear that.
there's a potential for disclosure and not telling her that we can give it to the lawyers. Because look, a job of a lawyer, what I do as a lawyer is I disclose all of the possibilities, okay? I think what he may not
I
have...
mean, in respect to Doki's lawyer, he's navigating pretty freaking well, considering he's defending a person with no money, and he's going up against a $3 billion company. Now, people make mistakes for sure, but let's just put this into perspective for a second. But I get the claim. I get what you're saying.
done here is number one, told her this could be disclosed because it could, right? And to lie and to pretend that it couldn't. You have to say there's a potential chance. And beyond that, change the information, alter the information, summarize the information just a little bit better. I'm not saying that he's incompetent. I'm just saying that maybe he could have done better. Okay, that's me.
This is just the next Mr. Beast video. Today, this is gonna be a $1 company versus a $1 billion company.
Being harsh on Doki's lawyer. That's not Doki's fault. Lawyer, right? Lawyer of Doki.
Legal Mindset estimating.
Right. Bro, Dokibird is gonna come back after all this kicking so hard. I'm gonna make you wish that I stayed gone. Brother.
That
She's just gonna come back kicking ass. Oh man, I wanna see her succeed so badly. I just wanna see her do okay.
total legal bills for Dokibird, if Nijisanji fights, could go upwards to $500,000.
Oh my god. Well, that makes sense, right? This, again, $3 billion company versus $1 bird.
However, there is a way to make that significantly less expensive
Oh?
to Dokibird.
This case does give a foothold. However, it's regarding an arbitration clause, not regarding an employment contract and the choice of venue and employment contract. So there's a difference between arbitration and litigation. Arbitration is a different process. It's a different procedure. So the courts could distinguish this and say, no, this is a choice of law issue. It's not involving arbitration. It's involving litigation. And where's the litigation area? But at the same time, if they wanted to extend this case, if they want to say, no, we're going to apply this because we're going to look at this case and we're going to look at it and say, Dokibird does not have that much money to go to Japan. He doesn't have.
I'm not sure they're gonna. It's very nice, but I don't know. I'll be honest. I think I'm the only person in this entire situation that doesn't actually think there's gonna be such like a massive lawsuit, because it's such a huge situation. But like, I don't see what could be gained by anyone. Like, Nijisanji has nothing to gain from a lawsuit. What are they gonna do? Sue her out of $1 million? Nux saying true like he knows the difference. Dude, everyone knows the difference between litigation and arbitration. Okay, litigation is fighting in court. Arbitration is kind of making a deal behind the scenes. I have a lot of legal history, okay? Way more than any of you can even imagine. Your small brains could not comprehend how I, Nux Goodman, attorney at law, has made my way through life.
Have the resources to go. She doesn't
Bro,
have.
you think I went through family? You think I went through a nice Jewish family without having legal background? All of my uncles are lawyers! No, okay, that was a joke. Only about 50% of them.
The hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to Japan. We might find the provisions that might require her to go there as unconscionable and allow her to bring her case in Canadian court under Canadian labor law.
And Dokibird being Canadian, what potential laws in Canada has Nijisanji broken?
So what is personal information? So
All
let's
right.
look at the scope of what personal information is and why they're screwed.
Dude, I freaking hope she's okay. The stress of the lawsuit isn't even like whether you'd win or you'd lose. The stress is that it happens.
Under PAPETA, personal information includes any factual or subjective information, recorded or not, about an identifiable individual. This includes in any form,
Fuck.
age, name. Guys, name. It includes name. So if they have
Okay. Well, hopefully they're never gonna actually leak her name, right?
her docs name, that would be a violation if she did not willingly give that to them, which she probably did not, of PAPETA.
Wait. So he's saying that giving her name. Whoa. This is bigger than I even thought. I was thinking like PAPETA from like the perspective of leaking it publicly. But even Nijisanji giving that information to the talent, to the other talent, to the 3 people that made that response video, giving that info to them is leaking private information. Name, ID numbers, income, ethnic origin. Shit, man. Okay. Is the contract under Canadian jurisdiction? Probably not. It's under, I think it's under Japanese law.
Their Canadian ID number, their income, the amount they make, their ethnic origin. Look at this, blood type. Blood type, guess what they turned over to Nijisanji?
Legal hospital documents.
Guess what they turned over? Medical records.
Frick, that's crazy. Bro is cooking. If they showed the talent the medical records that just happens to have her blood type on it, Jover. Oh my god, it's a shame they didn't get their part-time minimum wage Japanese high school students to freaking be the lawyers here to read this stuff, huh? Conversational level English. Maybe they would have known this.
They turned over her hospital information. Guess what that probably has on it?
Blood type.
Blood
name.
type. Probably has
Shit.
blood type.
It also probably has ethnic origin and age and name and ID. Oh my god, it's Jover.
So if that was disclosed, there might be some issues there, Niji. You might be violating PAPETA over here. Best be careful.
Oh my god, those Japanese high school students being paid a minimum wage are fucking sweating right now reacting to this guy. Oh lord.
Opinions, evaluations, comments, social status, and disciplinary actions.
Well, they literally leaked her lawsuit, her potential lawsuit.
So if she included information about disciplinary actions that she faced, and let's say that she faced discipline from Alira. Let's say Alira was mean to her, but Ike didn't know about that. And Ike got that information. Violation of PAPETA.
Wow, that's crazy. That's insane. Especially, so 39 DAF basically leaked that there were individual documents for individual people. But if other people, if they just kind of cooked in a little Discord group chat and shared all this shit together, they violated PAPETA. My god.
NGL. Employee files, credit records, loan records, medical records.
Well, just spell it out.
Medical records, that's what she sent over. Existence of a dispute between a consumer and a merchant. Intentions. such as attempt to acquire goods and services.
Brother.
How about all the intentions to create her products, to pay her suppliers? This is all Pepeda stuff. Pepeda does not specify the minimum level of connection that a company must have with Canada in order to be subject to its provisions. Let me read that again.
Dude, that's
Pepeda
crazy.
does not have a minimum connection with Canada. There's no requirement of a minimum connection.
See, my favorite thing about life is when assholes get their asses handed to them purely because they're assholes. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's glorious. Oh, let me just sit here for just a moment. Just a moment. I need to breathe. Just one moment, guys.
Vindication.
Oh yeah. Sorry for edging so much. Oh Lord, that was beautiful.
There's no language which limits its application to business with a physical presence in Canada, nor are its provisions explicitly limited to personal information collection, use, or distribution solely occurring within Canada. Furthermore, the Act of Parliament was...
Remember that time that Vox said that he saw the documents?
Well, maybe he was just lying, guys. Well, maybe he was lying.
Intended to...
Remember when they said that stream was reviewed by Nijisanji's lawyer?
Well, maybe the lawyer didn't speak English, guys. Maybe he didn't see that. Maybe he didn't speak English.
Protect personal information in cyberspace and e-commerce. Got him.
Bro, legal mindset over here. Cooking!
This is exactly what the intention of the legislation was.
Time for 39 Daft to say, it's not fair because, you see, Dokibird actually has the stand King Crimson and had to rewrite reality to make herself look better before this lawyer guy read this stuff. I'm just saying.
Therefore, this is the highlight. It is likely a foreign company operating only marginally in Canada, for example, by hosting a website.
Bro, that's literally what happened.
Available to Canadian citizens or entities will be subject to Pepeda.
I don't even know why Legal Mindset is doing this, looking through all this and finding these errors to begin with, because if you remember, Nijisanji's own legal team reviewed their own case and found themselves justified. So, like, I'm just saying, why would we even think to question it?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And now we're going
Bro, looks so smug. Oh my god.
of which jurisdiction would this court battle take place? We have this.
Japan does not have the privacy law. They don't have a claim. And if a jurisdiction does not have a claim, like they don't have that cause of action, the only venue is Canada.
That makes sense.
The only venue for the privacy claim is Canada.
I hereby declare that I did nothing wrong, Your Honor.
They don't have that claim in Japan. Now, Japan, Canada, and every civilized country that isn't running on sticks and rocks, right?
Well, I mean, Canada kind of is running on sticks. Let's be honest.
Has breach of contract. Every country that has electricity and isn't in the middle of a civil war.
Are you insane? Contracts have existed since thousands of years. Breach of contract happened way before electricity. It's the most basic human terms in existence. Not even exaggerating, bro. There are contracts mentioned in the Bible.
Contract claims. You can bring that in any country. But when you're getting down to specific stuff like that, that's a cause of action that has to go in Canada. Now, vice versa, if you're bringing a IP infringement for moral rights under Japanese copyright law or Japanese defamation law that's unique to Japan, you'd have to bring that in Japan. That's a unique jurisdiction for that.
And just very quickly on the subject of graduations and their legality.
Does graduation notice fall under PIPA? No, I think that's something that they would mutually agree upon. If it's information you agree to release, that's not PIPEDA. Right? So if it's something that you both agree to release because you're graduating, that's not PIPEDA. And
that was not all, as Legal Mindset also looked over the comments.
Oh my god, all right, I already went through the daft stuff. I can't deal with it again. I'm sorry. There's a level of brain rot that I'm just not willing to subject to myself more than once. All in all, dude did such a good job on this case. Bro actually took it apart so well and broke it down for the layman. Lawyer man, you freaking killed it, my homie. Lawyer man, I appreciate you a lot. Good job, my dude. Frick, what an ugly ass situation this is. So many different legal hooplas everyone has to jump into and roll around in. And ultimately, I think there's one conclusion to be had. And that conclusion to be had is massive Niji L. I think I've said this from day one. Nijisanji is trying to treat a Western audience and a Western Western human beings under their contract like they are used to treating idols in Japan. Unlike Hololive, who grew by leaps and bounds trying to adapt to the Western climate, Nijisanji was not willing to buckle. And it's that unwillingness to change and the cruel and abusive contracts and situations and social climates that the idol industry goes through is exactly what is causing them to take this massive, colossal fucking L. Bro, that's what's given them this big L. It's exactly that. They thought that they can just strong-arm their way through shit and silence their critics. But we're in the motherfucking Western world, homie. And that is not how society runs here. And Nijisanji is gonna take a fucking steaming shit that's going to make them smell for eternity. Literally. They are never going to outgrow this or outlive this. It's over. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there.
Stay weird, fam.